Chapter 6 El Loco. Upon arriving in Rio Blanco, Jason runs into El Loco, a gigantic town bully who owns the local hotel. Alright, finally, things are calming down a little bit. We are not timed. We can actually take our time and look around the village of El Blanco and figure out what's going on. But before anything else, we're going to save our game. We're going to call this Loco after, well, the name of the chapter. Alright, well now we're in Rio Blanco. And if you remember way back in the earlier part of the game, we had to get here, find a phone, and call somebody that our brother wanted us to talk to. So our first thing should be figuring out where that phone is. So let's look around a little bit here. A canoe made from hollowed out log bobs. A canoe made from a hollowed log bobs slightly in the water. A small trading post sits near the river. Cayenne peppers, 1,000 times stronger than jalapeno. The cross on top of the abandoned Catholic mission shows signs of decay and neglect. A stone artisan well sits near the center of town. The well water appears slightly cleaner than the water in the river. Only slightly, huh? The slow-moving waves of the Amazon trail off into the distance. Small wooden pole, discarded from the trading hunt. Well, let's grab that. Not close enough. Because like in any good adventure game, try to get as many items as you can, because you never know when you're going to need them. The Rio Blanco Hotel, once a rest spot for traveling coffee plantation owners and rubber barons, sits in disrepair. A sign on the Rio Blanco Hotel hangs precariously from the atrophied structure. A gust of wind or a pull could easily break it loose. And what about this big guy here? The big man looks at least 7 feet tall and has a wild, crazy look in his eyes. Well, I wonder if he wants to talk to us. He points at the dilapidated hotel and warns you to stay away from the holy temple. The old building serves as a cantina for the people of the surrounding area. But why don't we go to the cantina? And there's somebody bringing the big guy something. A peasant boy is carrying a tray holding a plate of food for the large man seated in front of the hotel. Well, I guess it's lunchtime. Now this place is nice and busy. Let's look around a little bit. An old Indian woman stands at the back. 2 weathered natives finish their lunch. Remnants of a half-eaten cheese enchilada. A local is finishing his meal. The fellow is leaning on the counter, enjoying his beer. One of the locals taking his daily siesta. The woman behind the bar is preparing a meal. Several different boxes of food from 3 of the 4 food groups sit on the shelves behind the bar. A plate of very bland-looking food. A small knife with a wooden handle. I see a little rat scurrying up over here on this beam. Let's try talking to this lady.
Yes, senor?
Buenos dias. I am new in town and can use some information. I am very busy right now. I must prepare this meal for El Loco. Who is El Loco? He's the large crazy man who owns the hotel. He is out of his mind and the villagers are terrified of him. Well then, could you tell me where I might find a telephone? There is only one telephone in the village, and it is inside the hotel, but you will never get to it. I am willing to pay to use the phone. That does not matter. A local will allow no one to use it. No one is allowed inside the hotel or near the phone. You could be hurt very badly if you tried. Well, surely the man will listen to reason. A loco has always been a bully. Being a giant affects some people like that. But he received a kick in the cabeza by a burro 6 months ago and began to have visions. He threw everyone out of their rooms and claimed the hotel as a holy place. Only he may guard it. Everyone is forbidden to enter. He says he awaits a message from God, so the line must not be busy when he calls. He is loco, senor. But that's ridiculous. Of course, I must finish this meal. How much does he eat? I prepare several servings for him. A man bigger than a house has a huge appetite. It must take all day to feed him. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I can say no more.
Alrighty, well thank you for reading that for me. So we know we gotta get into the hotel, and the big guy is not gonna just let us in. But we also know that they feed him constantly. Let's take a look at his food. A plate of very bland looking food. Well, maybe there's something we can do to spice it up. When no one is looking, you grab a handful of peppers. We're going to try to sneak these peppers into one of his meals. Alrighty. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab that knife while no one's looking. You slide up to the bar and palm the knife while no one is looking. We're doing that so we can dice up the peppers nice and small. Of course, we want to do it while no one's looking. Alright, well, she's turned her back on us again. No, we don't want to use it on the cook. When the cook is not looking, you slip the peppers onto the plate of food. Well, that's it for that. But if we look around, we can see that a lot of the customers have left. And they've left stuff on the tables. So let's look around. Several pesos coins. And the remnants of a half-eaten enchilada. Well, let's grab those pesos. You cad, stealing the cook's tip like that. You're lucky she didn't see you. We're gonna want those pesos, because we need something to use the payphone, right? And while we're at it, we're gonna take that cheese enchilada. You break off a small piece of the enchilada. It'd be a good idea to wash your hands now, but all the water around here would only make them worse. Let's also look at what's on this table. A tarnished chrome Zippo lighter. And again, we'll try to grab that lighter while no one's looking. You quickly snatch the lighter up off the table. Now we just gotta wait for El Loco to eat his spiked meal. Well, let's not get too close. We may have to wait a moment or two. Alright, it took a little while, but the kid came back with his food. And yeah, it seems like El Loco did not like that. No, El Loco. Drinking the water will only make it worse. but his loss is our gain. The door creaks open on the rusty hinges. Now we're inside the hotel, and there is the phone. So why don't we first take the phone off the receiver, and we're going to put those coins we found into the phone. You drop the pesos into the slot. Now thankfully, we don't have to dial the number. The game is going to do it for us. But if you do remember, we have to let it ring 3 times and then hang up. Alright, that's 2. And I'm clicking after each ring. Alright, and there is 3. So let's hang up the phone. You break the connection. And now let's look around a little bit. It's a plant, stupid. The desk and room key slots need a fresh coat of paint. I think they need a little more than that. The decrepit walls of the hotel are cracked and show signs of water damage and jungle rot. I also see a rodent running around here. And a sprung empty rat trap. Why don't we grab it? And if you see this little rat hole, inside the rat hole are some chewed up papers, a half-eaten peso note, and a well-worn wallet. Well, we could try to grab it, but that little rodent running back and forth is a troublemaker. So let's take care of him first. What we're going to do is bait the trap with the enchilada. I'm going to leave it right on the stairs for him. You carefully place the loaded rat trap on the stairs. Alright, and Squeaky has been caught. Surprise! The trap actually worked. And now we can grab the wallet. And you pull the wallet out of the rat hole. Inside are 300 pesos. Well, that's good, because now we got money to use. Alright, we're going to leave El Loco alone and head back into the cantina. Because someone is supposed to come and see us. Alright, I guess we'll just have to wait until somebody shows up. Oh, well there's somebody.
A pleasure to see an American. Join me for a drink?
Well, I suppose so. I am supposed to meet someone here. Hey, how did you know I'm an American? Or, yes, if you're the person Alan sent to meet me, it's important I get to him immediately. Well, you know what? Let's just be direct with her. We're looking for Alan, and if this is who we're looking for, all the better. You will go in time. You must learn patience if you plan to stay in this country for long. My countrymen move slowly but surely. First of all, I must make sure that you are Jason and not an imposter. Pardon me, it's just that I'm anxious to see Alan. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Alan's brother Jason. I even have the papers to prove it. All well and good, but papers can be forged. They are for sale in many places. In Rio, passports can be bought on any street corner. I need to ask you a few questions that only Alan's brother would know. Very well. Someone as beautiful as you can ask me anything. But first, what's your name? Quiz me? I have a few questions for you first. What year did your brother win his stock car trophy? Now, we've got 3 choices here. 53, 54, and 52. And if you remember way back in the beginning of the game, we were looking at Alan's stock car trophies, and he won them in 52. Very good. How many brothers and sisters do you have? Once again, we saw a picture in our apartment that showed that we have 1 brother being Alan and 3 sisters. Very good. You're coming along nicely, Jason. Now, your brother has a favorite movie. Do you know the title? So we have 3 choices: The Day the Earth Stood Still, Wild Women of Wongo, or 3, Leave It to Beaver. The only clue we have to the answer of this is that we found a film reel in Alan's office, and that was The Wild Women of Wongo. So that's the choice we're going to make. Oh, Jason, I am Maya. I have looked forward to meeting you. Let's go to Alan at once. We must use the canoe tied up at the dock to travel to him. Alright, well, we've met Alan's, I guess, contact, and we can get going. There are still things we can do here. Like we see El Loco over there is beating the heck out of that poor guy for feeding him food that's way too hot. Alright, you put the ladder in your back pocket, because where else would you put a ladder? First thing we're going to do is help this guy out. El Loco has been a bully for far too long. And no, we're not going to just walk up to El Loco and have a fist fight with him. The guy's huge. Instead, we're going to be tricky. We're going to use our ladder against the side of his hotel. You lean the ladder up against the side of the hotel. Now we're going to climb it. You go to the top of the ladder. If you remember when we looked at the sign, it said like even a stiff breeze could pull it loose. What about a stiff pull? And down he goes. Alright, well now we're going to climb down the ladder. Alright, the peasant boy thanks you for saving him and gives you a small gold nugget as a measure of his thanks. He says that it may help you with some people further down the river. Well, thank you, peasant boy. And we do need that gold nugget that he just gave us. So we are just about ready to leave, but I think we're going to do some shopping. I mean, we might as well get some supplies for our little trip. Arturo thanks you for your patronage and invites you to continue browsing at your leisure. Let's take a look at some of the stuff he has. Arturo Ascension watches the post with his one good eye. Ascension? I don't know. But I see a machete. A 30-inch razor-sharp machete handmade in Bolivia. See various tins of meat, sugar, beans, and fish. A 12-foot fishing net, a fishing throw net. Barbasco root, a powerful poison used by the local fishermen to suffocate and kill fish. Not very sporting, but effective. A canoe paddle carved from a single tree branch. 45 caliber copper jacketed Smith Wesson ammunition. Well, I say we offer him some of our money. That doesn't seem to work. Well, no, because we can't actually just use the money on him. What we're going to do is pick the things that we want, and the money will just be taken. The machete costs 70 pesos. The net costs 40 pesos. The paddle costs 25. The roots cost 45. And the ammunition costs 100. Arturo tells you that this ammunition is for his own personal use and is not for sale. Arturo says the cans are reserved for another customer. Arturo says that he's holding the coffee on an expectation of an upturn in the world coffee prices. Alright, Arturo, well, thank you very much, but we're gonna head out. Now we're going to get in the boat. Well, we were going to get into the boat with Maya. Walked a little too close to his stand. Alright, nothing we haven't read before, so let's climb in. Maya leads Jason from the canoe to an obscure ramshackle hut hidden in the trees. The glow of a lantern flickers ahead. Maya and Jason step inside. Settled near a rough-hewn table is Alan. Jason is stunned at the sight. Alan looks 20 years older than just a few months ago. On top of that, his face is swollen and bruised as if he has been beaten, and his arm is in a sling. Any movement causes him great pain.
You're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you.
As you know, Alistair Research was contacted by Brazilian authorities to investigate the reports of amazing forest regeneration in slashed and burnt areas of the remote Amazon basin. On the first day of our arrival at the edge of civilization, we were hampered by a certain Colonel Sanchez. There have been reports of savage attacks by demonic forces in the basin, and Sanchez insisted upon sending some of his men along for protection. But their real purpose was espionage. We visited several reforest spots and investigated every possibility for regrowth, but the only one item out of the ordinary was a very slight trace of radiation. Our luck changed when we came upon an outpost savagely attacked by so-called specters and demons. When we reached the site, it was already overgrown, but a small pool of liquid caused our geyser counter to go wild. Tests showed the liquid definitely increased the speed of regrowth of vegetation. A guide told us of an unexplored region known in the legend as Sitio Maldito, the accursed place. Supposedly in this spot flowed enchanted waters that held the secret of life, but they are protected by condemned spirits of foolish and greedy men who died trying to discover the wisdom of the gods. Intrigued by the legend, we decided to explore this region. We marched for days through the nearly impenetrable jungle growth. Yep, and this is the same scene we saw at the very beginning of the game. Each night, the men huddled near the fire, and many reported seeing eerie figures that seemed to be watching from a distance, tracking our movements. Every morning there were new desertions of frightened men. When Sanchez's men deserted, they stole much of our research information. On the 10th night, it was extremely hot, and the men were edgy and restless. I tried to sleep in my tent, but wasn't having much luck. Suddenly we heard horrible screeching sound. It was as if Satan had loosed all the condemned of hell back upon the earth. Then from everywhere came a shower of arrows. I saw the men fall like rag dolls. Carlos fell through the tent with an arrow that had pierced his heart. I struggled to gain my bearings and slid through the back of my tent. A poisoned arrow tore through my shoulder, and I crawled as best I could to the edge of the river and jumped in. I must have floated for several days down the river. When I finally regained my senses, I was burning with a fever from the poison. Although I have yet to shake the effects, it was Maya who saved me. Jason, we are on the verge of a most important discovery of our age, and I'm determined to make it. Colonel Sanchez is now aware of our work, and he will stop at nothing to get it for his purposes. But a discovery of this nature must be protected from men like him. Maya was doing government research when she found me, and now she's willing to help, but we must start now, or it will be too late. After a few days, Alan is strong enough to begin the journey. The three travelers move slowly along a narrow footpath that winds upwards to the thick jungle vegetation. The ground is rough and broken by gullies and undergrowth. Though no one has been seen, there is a sense they are not alone. Alright, and there goes our trio trekking through the jungle, and our chickens from earlier. Alan leads the others along a trail that parallels the river. The sky gets darker and more ominous as a storm gradually overtakes them from the west. A hot, agitating wind rustles through the foliage. Finally, they reach a decrepit bridge at the edge of a wide gorge. The cliff towers above the rushing water far below. A feeling of exhaustion overcomes them as they stare across the gap to the other side. Suddenly, the sound of gunfire cracks through the jungle. Alan turns and looks quickly down the path to an approaching army of men in army fatigues. If they catch us, we're dead.
I'll hold them off.
Alright, and that's it for this chapter. But in the next chapter we begin The Bridge of Death.